chose this path. I was born into it. Not through books, not through trends, but through blood, memory, and something I couldn't explain as a child. As a child, I didn't have the language for it. I just knew I wasn't alone. The adults called it imagination, but imagination doesn't answer back. When I started looking into my ancestry, something shifted. It stopped feeling random. The women before me weren't just surviving. They were sensing, knowing, and holding something sacred. The Napier name traces back to Scotland, a land where the line between science, faith, and the unseen were never clearly divided. In the time of John Napier, knowledge itself could feel like magic, and sometimes it was treated that way. But the story doesn't end with the men. There was also Barbara Napier, his daughter. She lived during one of the most dangerous times in Scotland history to be a woman who was seen as different. During the North Berwick witch trials, hundreds were accused of witchcraft, often for little more than suspicion, association, or simply being a woman with knowledge or presence that others didn't understand. Barbara Napier was accused of witchcraft. She stood trial in a time when accusations alone could mean death, and yet, unlike many others, she was acquainted. Even so, history tells us that an acquitted didn't always mean safety. Suspicion lingers, and so does reputation. When I learned her name, I didn't feel distant. I felt familiar. A woman tied to my lineage, accused of something that centuries later still echoes in the way we talk about intuition, sensitivity, and knowing. And Barbara wouldn't have been alone. The women of that time, Napier women, lived close to the land, to cycles, to remedies, to quiet forms of knowledge that were often unnamed and sometimes feared. What we call witchcraft may have simply been women understanding the world in ways others couldn't control. So, when I look at my ancestry, I don't just see names. I see women who had to hide what they knew. Women who were questioned for what they felt. Women who, despite everything, carried it anyway. On another branch of my family tree, the Haworth women walked a path that looked very different on the surface, but underneath it carried the same depth. They were part of the Religious Society of Friends, a spiritual movement founded by George Fox in the 1600s. At a time when religion was loud, structured, and controlled, Quakers chose something radically different. Silence. They believed that every person carried something called the inner light, a direct connection to the divine that didn't require permission, translation, or hierarchy. No priest, no rituals, no intermediaries, just listening. And that kind of listening requires something most people are taught to ignore: stillness, sensitivity, and trust in what you feel before you can explain it. Today, this is something we call intuition. But just like the women accused of witchcraft, Quakers were also feared. During the Quaker persecutions in England, they were imprisoned, fined, and publicly punished, not for casting spells, but for refusing to conform. They believed that divine truth didn't belong to institutions. And within that movement, women held a unique kind of power. Quaker women were allowed to speak in meetings, to preach, to guide. That alone was radical. But their influence didn't stop there. Haworth women, like many Quaker women, would have been deeply woven into the care of their communities. Midwives, caretakers, women trusted in moments of birth, illness, and death. They worked with the body, but also with something less visible. They may not have called it magic, but what is it? To sit in silence and wait for divine guidance. What is it? To feel truth rise from within without being taught. What is it? To trust a knowing that has no physical proof. The language is different, but the experience feels the same. When I look at the Haworth woman in my lineage, I don't see absence of magic. I see refinement of it, quieted, contained, and protected. Where the Napier line may have carried whispers of the unseen through the land, the Haworth women carried it through silence, through stillness, through deep, unwavering inner knowledge. Two lineage, two expressions, yet one thread. Listening to something beyond what can be seen. And somehow, both live in me. I am the meeting point of women who spoke to spirit in different ways, but were listening to the same source. For a long time, I questioned it. I tried to make sense. But there comes a moment when you stop asking, is this real? And start asking, what am I meant to do with it? This isn't about labels, such as witch or intuitive or sensitive. This is about remembering. Maybe the things we experience as children aren't things we imagine. Maybe they're things we remember. And maybe some of us were never meant to forget.